So we've got the mediation set up. One of the most difficult parts of a mediation is trying to get the parties to understand they're not going into a courtroom. They're not going into a space where we've got someone at the top of the table who's going to hear submissions from the parties and then give a decision. Really is incumbent upon a really good mediator, and I hope to be that one day, to get the parties in a position where they understand this is their opportunity. This is not a courtroom, but this is a forum where they get the opportunity to be able to discuss their concerns, their issues, and that they have the power to resolve. So how do we go about doing that? Well, I think it's really important that you as a mediator have had a conversation with each of the parties. Introduce yourself, explain to them your background. And I'm relatively thankful that I've had many years' experience both as a lawyer, as a solicitor, and also in the wider public arena at dealing with people in various stages of agreement or disagreement. So once you've got that position known, and I always believe that familiarity breeds much more consent than contempt. So once people get to know who you are, then it's more likely that when you arrive at the mediation, that the parties are not going to be facing a mediator dressed up in a wig and a gown, totally remote from them, but someone who they've at least had a discussion with, who's at least explained to them how the mediation will work, the concept of neutrality, the concept of confidentiality, the concept that it will be done in a respectful way where all parties can have the opportunity to talk without being interrupted. They come with that expectation, so it's really important that when they actually enter into the mediation space, that the space reflects that. So I obviously have a situation as much as I can to have a round table type scenario rather than a rectangular space. I set up the chairs in a way in which parties feel that they're not being frog marched into some interrogation. I make sure that the water is freely available to drink, not to throw at each other. And most importantly, have a box of tissues available, so if people need to blow their nose or there's tears or anything like that, but they can have all those opportunities. Making sure that the lighting is right. I don't want it too bright, I don't want it too dark, but I want it somewhere where people aren't squinting or having to talk to the other side and be looking into a light. I want it in a space as much as possible which is likely to put them in a mental state where they're open to listen, to absorb, and hopefully then to reflect on what's been said and reach a resolution. Finally, I think it's really important to make sure that when practitioners are involved, and I obviously welcome legal practitioners to be involved or advisors, but I make sure that you explain to them that you will not tolerate any courtroom antics. And by that, and it's only rarely, but it has occurred, where I've had a party a solicitor ready to walk out of a mediation, and this was a government appointed mediation where I was the mediator, and I made it abundantly clear to that solicitor that if they did that would be something which I'd report back to my government instructing body and advise that solicitor was not fulfilling their obligations under the legislation to try and assist in a resolution of the matter. So I hope those sort of things give you a level of understanding, and if I can assist in any way, please feel free to contact my website or my mobile phone or any way you want to.